today I am going to be doing an aquarium, and I've wanted to do this for a while, but I just never really got around to it. So I'm doing it today, and I'm really excited about this because there's like a trick you can do with the aquarium where you take those fish tanks, you size them down, and then you can have the fish just swimming around in any area that you like. So that's what I used in this build, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out. I didn't really know how to do the exterior because I don't know, aquariums are kind of boring on the outside, so I kind of made it really just like modern, because I guess that's just how I see aquariums, that they're usually quite modern looking and there's a lot of glass, and yeah, so I tried to do that. It's very monochrome on the outside, so it's a little bit boring looking, you could say. But I think the real thing that you're there to see are the fish. So it doesn't really matter what the outside looks like all that much. And I don't think it's hideously ugly or anything. So it's fine. It doesn't need to be beautiful. But it did take me a while to get to my finished product. I spent a very long time trying to figure out what windows to use and what doors to use. And I do get there eventually. So just have patience with me as I tried to work this out, because it was hard. But I did it. Anyway, please let me know what you think of my audio, because I've been like fiddling around with the settings on the microphone and the like recording, because I noticed that all my audio is very, it has a lot of white noise in it, and I really don't want that. So I tried to like remove it, but then I noticed my voice sounded a lot more echoey, and then I tried to fix that, but then my voice was way too quiet. So I've been trying to find a good setting, and I think this was okay, but I don't know. I haven't listened to this footage back yet, obviously, because I'm recording it, so maybe it'll be really bad. But tell me what you think in the comments if this is a good setting to have, because honestly, I have no idea. So yeah, let me know. Anyway, I tried to make this build like really eco-friendly, and by that I mean I literally just had solar panels on the roof and that was it. But yeah, I thought the skylights were quite fun. I did have to remove the ones at the back because they look into the bathroom and I thought that was weird, so I got rid of them. But the ones at the front stay because they're right in the landing area, and I think that's kind of the ideal place for the skylight, so I was pleased with them there. And yeah, so at this point I've kind of decided on what the outside of the build will look like, and I think it's fine. I kind of embraced symmetry a lot more than I usually do in my builds. I'm not really a fan of symmetry. I think it kind of makes it look a bit boring a lot of the time, but in community lots I think it is quite good. So I did that here, and it really helps me to lay out the aquarium. So I had like 4 main areas, one on the left side of the bottom floor and on the top floor, and then another one on the right side of the bottom and top floor. So that was kind of what I was going for. And I also tried to make the right side a bit more like kid friendly. So I put all the scary fish, like the like ones that come with vampires, you know, the vampire squid and that sort of thing. I put that on the left side. And then I also put a kids play area on the right side because I thought the kids might be a bit afraid of that. Like, not every child is afraid of that sort of thing, but some are. So I don't want to scare them. But then when I was a little child, I was very afraid of fish just in general, like the big ones, because they were kind of creepy. So I don't think I would enjoy it here when I was little. But never mind. This is for kids who do actually like fish, but some of them are a bit scary, so yeah. Anyway, I'm kind of finishing up the outside of the building, and it took me so long. I really don't like doing the exterior of buildings. It's the most boring part, but we have to get through it. To get to the fun bit, that's the inside, and that is definitely my favourite. This build did take me so long though. It took me like 10 hours because I had to go around and fish up all the fish. Like, I tried to get them from debug, but when they showed up, so I placed them all down, but my sim couldn't put them in her inventory, so I couldn't put them into the fish tanks, and it was really annoying. So I had to go around and fish them all up and put a pond outside to like fish up more of them. And I did fill every single aquarium in here, like every single one of the fish tanks, and so I am pleased with how it eventually looks. I obviously didn't manage to get every single fish in the game. I mean, I doubt they would even be able to fit in the aquarium, like every single fish in the game. So I only went with the ones I could fish up and the ones that I thought looked cool. So I didn't have any boring ones. I did actually find like a really cool fish. It's like the gummy fish, and it's basically just one of those sweets that looks like a fish. And I thought that was really cool. I don't know where that came from, like where you can fish it up. I don't remember, but it might have been Oasis Springs in the park. I'm not too sure. Anyway, here is me actually doing the fish tanks. It will cut to many hours later when I finally got all the fish, but yeah, that did take me a while, in a little bit. So yeah, this is just, I had 5 giant fish tanks in the entire build. No, 6. No, I had 5, and then I had a lot of smaller fish tanks that were built into like the walls or just like on the side, and I thought those would be for more specialized fish. So like the gummy fish, which is an interesting one. You'll see it in a bit, hopefully, maybe in the screenshots, I'm not too sure. But at some point during this build, I decided that it being an aquarium was not enough, because if you don't know, aquarium is not a lot type in The Sims 4, so you can't have a build be an aquarium. And originally I was kind of planning on either making it a museum or just a generic lot that doesn't have any lot requirements. But then I decided to make it a restaurant because, I don't know, I like restaurants. I just started placing tables everywhere because I didn't really have anything to fill up the space. So I started placing tables, and then I decided it should just be a restaurant because that would help me fill up the space. I did have to create space for a kitchen, which was a little bit difficult, but I think the way I ended it was fine. I like how I did it in the end. But yeah, I do have 2 receptions, so it's mirrored exactly on each side, except for the top floor where I have one area with a kids space. But yeah, I even mirrored the kitchens, so there are 2 kitchens, one on each side, which I think is quite helpful because when you get to the later stage of your restaurant in The Sims 4, you do unlock 2 different chefs. I think you can get 3. I haven't played Dine Out really to that stage ever before. I would love to though, but I don't know. I only had 1 restaurant before in The Sims, and I just never finished it, so I do need to do that eventually because it's so fun. I love playing with restaurants. But yeah, I think you can unlock multiple chefs. So yeah. Anyway, this is my bathroom. I had it very colourful because I thought like kids are going here. Bathrooms are fun, yeah. And it was at this point that I realised that my windows were asymmetrical, so I did fix them. It's kind of annoying. I didn't realise for so long that they weren't symmetrical, so I do fix them eventually when I go and add the changing table, because I wanted this lot to be good for infants and toddlers, as well as all the normal life stages, because often community lots aren't very accommodating for the younger life stages, and I think that's such a shame. So I did add high chairs for toddlers and infants, but I'm not even too sure if toddlers can even go to restaurants, or infants for that matter, because I'm pretty sure I tried it once for a party and it just didn't let the toddler come. So maybe you can't take them to restaurants, but I don't know. I feel like you should be able to, because toddlers go to restaurants all the time, and so do babies. So yeah, they should change it if you can't. Something you might have noticed is that in the aquariums, you can still see the size down original fish tank. And I do go back and I put rocks and plants and decorations all over it. I think I got quite creative with what sort of thing I put in the fish tanks, because I didn't really want it to look boring. Like, I don't know, it could have looked really boring, but I decided to put props in there. So in the spooky one, I put a load of gravestones and just creepy stuff like that. A lot of stuff from the vampire pack. And then in the kids one, I sized down those like oversized statues of what are they called? Void critters, the like Sims version of Pokemon. And I sized them down so they looked kind of normal size, and I put them in the kids side of the aquariums because I thought that could be really cute, and they were all like water ones. So if you didn't know this about Void critters, I'm going to do a video about this eventually, but there are 4 types. I think they are water, fire, land, and air. And obviously this is an aquarium, so I did water themed ones. I also, you can see this now, but I use the sailboat wallpaper for the kids' room because when else am I going to use that? It's so extreme. I've never used it before. I also use that little baby playmat that has the fish on it because obviously it's an aquarium, it has to be water themed. And I also use those new bookcases from Growing Together. They're really useful for community lots, and I knew they would be when they came out. Like I say in my video that I know they're going to be good for community lots, and so far they have been, so I'm really pleased with those. On another note though, I never actually thought that like sitting in my room speaking to a microphone for like 20 minutes would be so exhausting, but I've only been recording for 10 minutes now, and my voice is so tired. I just had to take a massive break because I could not speak any longer. Like, hopefully, after doing this for a while, my ability to speak for a long amount of time without stopping will get better. But I don't know, I've been doing this for a year now, has not gotten easier. Like, I've spoken to people for like hours. I've had conversations that lasted multiple hours with people, and I never got tired after doing that. But I guess when you're talking 100% of the time, it's so much more tiring than 50% of the time because you're taking breaks in the middle of speaking. But with this, I'm just constantly talking and I can't take any breaks because, well, I can, but I just have to edit that out, so that's just a bit annoying. But anyway, back to the actual build I'm doing, like a bit of a side note there. I finally decided at this point to do a restaurant because I just started adding tables everywhere to fill in the space. I don't really know what else I could have done to like just stop there being a load of empty space everywhere, because there's no space for more aquariums, like more fish tanks. That would just be silly to have infinite fish tanks everywhere, I guess. So I don't know, I just stuck tables everywhere. Like I've seen aquariums with tables and stuff. I don't know. They usually have some sort of activity or notice board for like people to look at. Not notice board, like information board about the fish. But there's nothing that really looks like that in The Sims. I guess I could have had one of those children activity tables or a game, but I feel like it's a bit of a stretch to make. So I decided to just go with restaurant. And now it's kind of like a fancy fish themed aquarium restaurant. I don't know if it's dark, but I did make the menu almost exclusively fish. So I don't know if that was, because it's on theme, like what else would I make the restaurant? But I feel like it's a bit weird. I don't know. What do you think? Because they're eating fish whilst looking at how cool the fish are. So I feel like that might be a bit dark, but I don't know. Maybe something like this exists in real life, but I have no idea. I did make it a seafood restaurant though. I tried to kind of block off the pathway to the reception, and I do keep it like this. But I don't know if I like it. I think it's a bit interesting. And I had this like middle area that I imagined would be kind of, if you were having a fancy date, you would book this space. And you can be your private area, except it's really not very private because as everyone comes into the building, they can see you. And when they're waiting to get taken to their spot, they can watch you. So it's really not very private in real life. But in The Sims, it would be good because when you have like a date in a restaurant in The Sims, your date gets like distracted by everything. Every other sim there, they will come up to you. So I feel like if you had this separate space, it would be a lot easier. And so you can kind of pretend that your sim booked this special area for them, so that you don't have other random sims talking to your sim when you're trying to have a romantic date. And I'm sure they'll find a way to make their way over there, because they always do. Sims are very annoying. They do everything that they shouldn't do, just because they can. I used the curtains that came with that kit we got for free a couple months ago. And I do actually have 2 kits now. I swore I would never get a kit, but I have 2. They were both free at the time that I got them. So I don't think that's going against what I told myself, that I would never buy a kit, because I didn't buy them. I got them for free. And I think I can't say no to getting something for free. So yeah, like free kits, free items. I'm sorry to everyone who missed those deals because you have to pay for that kit, and that's really sad because kits are bad and I will never pay for one. Probably. I might regret saying that in 2 years because I may decide to buy a kit. But right now, I think kits are stupid and I don't want to buy them, even though some of the items look really nice, and it makes me really sad because I really, really want that cool movie screen from that pack. But everything else in that kit is so bad. The kids sleepover one that I predicted would come. Not to brag, I kind of knew it was going to be a sleepover kit. But it's got some cute items, but it's not worth £5. I'm not spending £5 on 10 items. It's stupid. So yeah, I will not be buying it, no matter how much I want that one item, because that's how they do it. They get one item in a kit that everyone wants. It's always one item. That's what I've noticed. They only put one good item in the kit and then make people buy it for £5. It's ridiculous. I also think it's kind of annoying that in America it's $5, but in the UK it's £5, and pounds are like worth more than dollars. It's just annoying because it shouldn't be that expensive for us. Like, it's more expensive in the UK than it is in America, and that's just so annoying. And I think a lot of other countries have that as well, where it's more expensive in their currency than it is in America, because just they made it 5 of everything, no matter where you are. So I'm imagining in some countries it's way cheaper. Anyway, I just kind of skipped past me doing all of the upstairs. I was not talking about anything to do with this build. I was just talking about my weird annoyance at EA for making kits more expensive in the UK, even though I wouldn't buy them even if they were £3. But it's just annoying. So I did kind of finish the inside of the aquarium, and now I'm just decorating the actual fish tank part. I wanted to do that last so I could make sure I had every fish I wanted and I wouldn't have to remove everything I added before putting more fish in. Once you've covered up the fish tank, it's a lot that you can't reach it. You can't put more fish in it. So I did that bit last once I was sure I had every fish I wanted. And every single fish tank is filled up. It was quite tedious doing that, and it was also very tedious to fill in the fish tanks. I only had to do it 4 times, luckily, but it was kind of annoying to cover everything, make sure everything was covered. It was more fun to put in the cool little statues, so I put an anchor in that one. I can't remember what I put in this one. I think I put a little pirate ship, you know, the base game one. And it's not a pirate ship explicitly, but it is a ship, and I imagined it was a pirate ship because that's just more fun. Anyway, I used those snowy escape rocks because they're bigger and they're the only rocks we have other than the base game ones, and I got sick of the same 5 rocks after about 2 minutes. I don't know how we went 7 years or however long it was without any other rocks. And I don't know how we're still surviving. Like, we got 3 extra rocks. It's not the best. I don't know. I feel like that's not the top of anyone's priority list though, getting new rocks for The Sims 4, especially with the state of the game. So, I don't know. Maybe that's why we haven't got any new ones. I don't think I can complain that we only have 8 rocks in The Sims 4. Like, I don't know how many rocks were in The Sims 3 or The Sims 2, but I don't know, maybe 8 is better than what we had back then. Anyway, that was the second fish tank, so now third. Oh, I forgot about the one in the middle. Whoops, yeah, so I did that one first. So that was the third fish tank. This is the 4th one, and this is the kids one, and I was really excited to do this one, because I knew exactly what I was going to do. I was going to get all the cute little, what are they called again? I forgot okay, void critters, I remembered now. I can't believe I keep forgetting, because they're literally my favourite things, so I should remember them, because they're so cute. Oh, and I also got those new flowers, like those new statues from Growing Together for the water parks, because I just thought they kind of fit in there. And then this was kind of my favourite one as well. I liked the 2 upstairs, because it was all spooky, so that was just a lot of fun. And now I was kind of making the restaurant menu, which I do love doing that, and I wanted it to, I don't really know what sort of vibe I wanted, like if it was going to be a fancy restaurant or not, because I don't know, I feel like it's not that fancy, so I kind of went with anything themed around fish. And there are just a few other options for like your vegan Sims and your vegetarian Sims and your lactose intolerant Sims. So, you know, I've got to have a bit of variety. But yeah, I think this video is kind of coming to the end. So I'd like to thank you for watching the video all the way to this part. If you enjoyed it would be amazing if you could like the video, leave a comment, subscribe if you really liked it and you want to see me again. And it would be amazing if you could share the video with a friend. It would really help. Thank you for watching and bye!